Welcome to episode 132 of Beyond the Brick. I'm Joshua Hanlon.
And I'm Matthew Kay.
And we'd like to thank Philly Brick Fest for their support of Beyond the Brick. Philly Brick Fest is a public event with hands-on attractions such as the LEGO video game area, where you can challenge your family or make new friends playing your favorite LEGO titles head-to-head. And they also have many more cool LEGO models and creations there on display at the Philly Brick Fest events. So I'd encourage you to check out all they have to offer at phillybrickfestlive.com. Now, I wanted to remind you about our Apple-themed LEGO building contest that is still going on through the end of September. So if you are interested in entering that, I'll have a link in the description to how you can enter that contest. Got some cool entries over there already. Definitely encourage you to check that out.
And Josh, let's get in on some current events here. If you want to build an iPhone 6 Plus, and let's just say said iPhone 6 Plus might happen to have some unexpected curvature, we would really like that. That would be cool. We're always about, tying into those current events.
That would be really neat. Feel free to build a somewhat bent iPhone if you want to. That would be a great entry as well. So I'll put a link in the description to where you can find some more information about that contest. Now, joining us on the show tonight, we have Dave Shaddix. You might know him from his website, southwestbricks.com, where he posts a lot of his cool LEGO models. He is 39 years old, an outdoor guide and an artist, and he is a member of Cactus Brick, Lug, and Valley of the Brick. So thanks for joining us, Dave. It's great to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And yeah, really appreciate you coming on tonight. You want to tell us a little bit about the two lugs you're part of real quick?
Actually, Cactus Brick started about 2008, so it's about 6 years old now. I don't participate in it all that much, probably as much as I should. Certainly not as much as I used to. And then Valley of the Brick is a fledgling lug that just started earlier this year. There's about maybe 8 or 10 of us, and it's just serving a different part of the Phoenix metro area.
Okay, very nice. So you've got a couple different lugs to participate then in the Phoenix area.
Yeah, we're just trying to get. We have 2 LEGO stores in the valley, and every time I go to the one in Chandler, I see all the familiar faces there. And every time I go to the one on the other side of town in Peoria, I see new faces. And there seems to be. I'm always meeting somebody new, and they say is there a LEGO club, and other than Cactus Brick, because they'd like to go see some. They don't want to drive an hour to get there. So
when a metro area gets that big, you really kind of have to. I mean, it's almost like a state or something onto itself. So yeah, it makes sense to have one group, another group, and do stuff together sometime.
Yeah, Phoenix, the metro area here is about 2,000 square miles. It's actually the 12th largest metro area in the U.S. and the 5th largest city. Phoenix is the 6th largest city in the U.S. So I don't want to tick Philadelphia off by saying the 5th, although it's only like maybe 1,000 people. But
so when did the second LEGO store open in Phoenix? Because I remember hearing about the first one.
That was 2008 was the Chandler Mall, and then over at the Arrowhead Mall in Peoria, that was I want to say 2010. So just a couple of years later.
And now we just like to bring up Kevin Hinkle in everything that we do. Kevin Hinkle was the former manager of the Chandler store. Am I correct in saying this?
Yes, he was, and he's a really cool guy, and we got to know him, and it was a shame that he went away. But he went to Austin for a while. He came down here from Denver, and he ran the store down here. He ran a great store, and one of his assistant managers is now, or one of his employees is now the assistant manager at Arrowhead. And I mean, both store, there's still a lot of Kevin there, and a lot of that culture that he instilled. So. They're really good fun stores.
And now he's kind of disseminating that culture all across the April community. So kudos to you, Kevin, moving up the ranks.
Yeah, you rock, man.
Yeah.
Always give a shout out whenever we can to Kevin.
The Hinkle, yeah, and while we're at it, I need to promote the Kevin Hinkle is awesome Facebook page.
Somewhat awesome? You mean somewhat awesome?
Our Facebook page, Flickr page. The Kevin Hinkle is it was somewhat awesome. I made it somewhat awesome because he only had like 3 people who thought he was awesome. So,
okay.
But yeah, now he's just purely awesome.
He's purely awesome.
Incredibly awesome.
Well, that's an upgrade.
Or something like that. Yeah, because I mean he's the Hinkle.
Yes. You got it. The Hinkster.
The Hinkorama.
Yeah, you can just go. We can go all day. So
keep on making up nicknames for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's stop. Let's just. Let's
No,
stop. I mean, my last name is Shaddix, so let's just lock that up right now.
well, we won't go any further with that. But if you want to give us a little bit of your history with Lego, then Dave, when did you first start building? Did you build as a kid?
Yeah, I did. Actually, I remember my very first set was a Fabuland set. It was, I don't know, I remember this weird thing with a pig head on it, and it was like he drove a taxi cab or something. And yeah, it was kind of a weird set, and that's all I had for a while. And then I started getting into space and the city sets. And then my uncle eventually gave me all of his Lego, which seemed like an awful lot at the time. But he had a lot of castle and city and stuff in there too, and the base plates to go with it. So by the time I was, I don't know, 13, 14 years old, I'd stopped playing with Lego. I didn't really do as much anymore. My parents convinced me to give them away to another family, a less fortunate family, so I did, and I kept this box full, one of the red cases full of Lego, and with all of my old friends and the cool spaceships and stuff that I made, and I broke them out. I think my sophomore year of high school. Sat down, got on the floor, got all these guys out, and it was just so incredibly boring and lame to me. So I put it all back and said, wrote the kid's name down and put it on the washing machine, and they were gone the next day. So that was the last of the Lego I had until I was in my 30s, when my kids started playing with Lego, and then I was building stuff. I would give them these awesome sets and building things with them and not letting them play with them, and that was really, really just weak. It's just a bad move. And building spaceships on the floor is not something that there's a lot of pride in, or wasn't for me. I just did not feel comfortable sharing this. I just come out of a corporate job, and it's just something that I didn't feel good about sharing with my peers and my coworkers, my friends, or my family. They're like, "Oh crap, Dave's playing with Lego again. That's great." So I eventually just started, doing more and more with it. It was evolving. I was always a fan of Sean Kenny's work, and I had wanted to build. I was actually wanted to commission some portraits of my children, and the prices just scared the heck out of me. So I decided I'd take it on myself, and that got me into mosaics. So thousands upon thousands of dollars later, it would have just been so much cheaper to have commissioned some work from him. But now I know how to do cool things too. So
And plus,
thank you, Sean. You're awesome too.
investing in those raw materials, right? You get to kind of the ball just keeps on rolling, right? Because now instead of spending 5,000 on one portrait, you spend 5,000 on enough bricks to make like 20 portraits, right? Is that the
Yeah,
logic?
this is true. Yeah, that is. I just got a Facebook message. I don't know if you heard that. Should have turned that off. Yeah, I mean, it's nice being able to, and that's ultimately what I want to do, is I want to hold enough of an inventory to build what I want to build just on the fly, or buy things minimally.
Exactly. That's like everybody's aspiration, right?
Yeah, well, kind of. I mean, I just actually unloaded a lot of, I don't know, probably close to 100 pounds of Lego. I just didn't need it anymore, and I really didn't want to sort it. I did this last year too. So yeah, every once in a while I'll just do that. I'll just cycle the old stuff out, and with the logic that I'll just buy stuff as I need it, because God, I don't want to sort through all of that.
I mean, it's like that whole cost-benefit thing, you have to, the opportunity cost of sorting it is a little bit high, right?
Yeah. So and it's just not fun. It's not a fun thing. It's the devil's arithmetic, as a friend once said.
Oh God, yeah.
So what was your transition like from building the mosaics for your kids and then you're now a Lego artist where you take, people can commission you to do Lego mosaics and stuff like that. How did that transition happen?
Well, it actually started with an email from Andrew Beecraft that I thought was an elaborate prank. And I got an email from him saying that David Copperfield wanted to buy a piece that I made at the time. Actually, it was about a year old. The radiator I called it the Ultimate Collector Set. I did like this series of box art from Gilligan's Island, and I had built the radio from the show, the coconut powered radio, and he said that David Copperfield is interested in purchasing it. So I said, well, okay, man, cool. And so I figured, I don't care what happens as long as the check cashes, we're good. So that was kind of how I started out the gates. Is with a sale to he's not A-list, B-list celebrity now. I mean, it's not 1987, so. He's still a cool guy. I love you, Mr. Copperfield. You're awesome, and I still need to go see your show. And I want that autographed picture. The one of like the bare chest and the doves flying would be awesome. Maybe if he could levitate the radio, but yeah. So it lives on a private island somewhere in the Bahamas, and
truly,
that just kind of got me started in that direction, thinking, yeah, this is something that I could do. I get the hang of this. Selling stuff to Copperfield and other people.
I say that's a pretty good way to get your feet wet, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't go out of your way then to like publicize yourself as selling Lego builds. It just kind of happened one day, and you saw this as something you could do.
Right. Yeah. Excuse me. Still have a cold. Yeah. It just sort of evolved naturally.
But now, did a business plan sort of ever factor in? Because once you make that initial sale, like, the whole, do I want to go out there and start selling this? Like, set up a website, all that kind of stuff. Well, when did that? Like, did you kind of have to sit down and say, you know what, we're gonna have to put the nail what is it? Something to the grindstone, head to the grindstone.
Yeah, nose to the grindstone.
Nose to the grindstone.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever. Something to the grindstone. No, So what is a business plan anyway?
I don't know. So you just sit down and you say, you know what? I think I'm gonna, and you just kind of stutter, and then hopefully someone hands you money.
Yeah. I'd call this just a bootstrap process.
There you go.
It's been a lot of mistakes, a lot of learning. There's definitely a learning curve, and sometimes I'm doing better than others. But it's I realized I need a website, and then Twitter, Facebook. Still don't know what the heck I'm doing, but it's fun.
Definitely.
It's a fun learning process.
And I really think there is something to be said for people such as yourself, because Sean Kenny is really good at capturing very, very wealthy families and perhaps Fortune 500 companies. But he's in New York City, and so is Nathan. And I guess that kind of wraps it up for that sort of fine art Lego type people. But someone such as yourself. Fine art, like certified professionals. There aren't. I guess there's one in Seattle, right? The name escapes me.
Dan Parker.
Dan Parker.
And to my understanding, Dan actually is not part of the LCP program anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. I'm not even sure if this is accurate. That's just through the grapevine. And it's a program I still have mild interest in. I'm not sure. I don't think it's for me though.
I've heard it has its benefits and its kind of it's good and it's bad.
To my understanding is because Lego has their name on what you make and you have your name on them, you need to seek approval before you put bricks together.
Yeah.
And for any project at all, profit or for fun. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to have my creative hands tied.
Yeah, but I guess at the end of the day, well, I was kind of trying to get at this, like someone such as yourself, you're in Phoenix, and everybody that in Phoenix that wants to do Lego art or have a Lego art piece commission, you're the guy, right? So people like yourself kind of help that get the Lego
for right
stuff
now,
out.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few of us. I mean, like Dave Ware up in Calgary. There's a few in Marianne in San Diego. I mean, there's a few of us that do this sort of thing, but. Yeah, me right now, I think I'm just the only one in Phoenix, and we need people like Sean and Nathan pushing it forward because they're doing all the hard work.
Yeah, they elevate the medium. Yeah.
Yeah, especially because they're two vastly different people. I think Sean just has a general awesomeness and enthusiasm, whereas Nathan has more of that elite skinny jeans rock star thing going on. and he has that dreamy curly hair.
Art
I still
galleries, man.
I I actually have my work. Somebody that collects his work now collects mine too. So I have uh, one of my mosaics, actually two of my mosaics, facing one of his Han Solo in carbonite. Um,
Yeah, I
in
remember
the,
seeing photos of that on your Flickr stream. I think you posted some
yeah,
photos when you put those mosaics
yeah.
in.
Yeah, it felt good, and then I also took one of, and I was trying to start like this flame war. I actually was hoping that he'd play ball with me and just have some fun with it. But he did I think about a 2/3 side sculpture of the Little Mermaid, and I got behind it and gave her the bunny ears, and yeah, nothing. I tweeted it out, and nothing. So it's a shame. So yeah, I'm always looking to try to rumble online or something. It's fun just to stir the pot.
Now, do you
And Dave
do?
Ware Dave
Well,
Ware keeps coming down from Canada during the winter. He's a snowbird. So yeah, if he comes on my turf again, I think we're gonna have some words. Uh, yeah, you've been warned, Mr. Ware.
Uh-oh. Are you gonna like face off, duel? No? Yeah?
Oh yeah, I totally think we should. I'm not sure what kind of antics we could have, but yeah, he's a really cool guy. But yeah, I wanna just totally throw down with him. That'd be a lot of fun.
There should be some kind of gathering of people that are commissioned to build with Lego bricks on occasion, like convention. It would be you and Marianne and Dave Ware, and then probably 2 dozen other people in the country, maybe, right?
Yes, yeah. Lego nerd slash artists of the world unite, and we can get
Yes.
together and build mosaics of awesome things that we think that need to be put into the world.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a cool idea.
It's a noble thing you do, though. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that's pretty
like a
great.
Lego Pro-Am tournament.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
now, do you just do mosaics, or can people commission you for pretty much anything Lego related?
Pretty much anything. I mean, the bigger sculptures. I mean, I'm still trying to, wet my whistle, trying to cut my teeth on that, on the sculptures. But yeah, pretty much anything. I think I can build, or at least hopefully I'll sure try to the best of my ability. So yeah, I have a Batman. I'm always experimenting. I'm working on a few sculptures right now. I'm actually thinking about tearing my Batman apart and making something different. Well, making Batman just different Batman.
hmm Now, you mentioned before the show that your dad is an artist. Is this something that runs in the family, and have you tried other forms of art besides Lego, like painting and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I can draw and I can paint too. Interpretive dance was really a deep passion of mine. It's not really, but yeah, I can I can kind of sculpt with clay too. Uh, but yeah, and that's one thing I'd love to just start painting right now. But I think it's sort of I have momentum and I should work on not losing it.
Definitely.
hmm So, what's a typical mosaic process like for you? Do you have a computer program that you use to plan it all out? How is there a time limit that you usually takes for you to build one, or how does that work?
It just really depends. I mean, I started with graph paper doing it that way, and I do a lot of my work first in Photoshop, and I get it to about where I want it, and then I pipe it through Mosaic, which is a free software you can download. And just because it maps things out so beautifully, it makes the maps for you, and it grids it out. So I like to use that for that last bit of the piece.
hmm Yeah.
But a
So.
lot of the work I do in Photoshop by hand, or even in Mosaic by hand, because it is actually a nice, eloquent program. Sometimes it doesn't, if you put a picture in there and hit go, it's not going to produce really a worthwhile mosaic. You really have to do a lot to it. And I used it initially as I did my first couple mosaics just that way. And then I started using it as a tool to learn how to make mosaics.
It's more of like a ruler than like a printer, right?
Ye, ye, okay.
Right? Like so it's there to assist you, not to like just do it for you, right?
Right.
Is that kind of what
Yeah.
you're getting at? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a ruler.
Do you ever think? Do you ever think that there'll be a day when you just say, I don't need computer programs. I'm just going to go into Photoshop and pixelate it. Maybe that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to kind of do it on my own. Like, I don't need these computer programs for anything. Is that day going to come, or do you think it's kind of still going to be, I should probably run through this?
Well, I like just to be able to draw the map out. I mean, I can basically make a dithered image and then load it as such, but like I said, I just like the way it makes a grid for me. And I could make a grid, but um, it's just easier because that does it for me and I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. All about kind of saving that time, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there could be a day, and there once was a day, and now I don't see going back, other than maybe I wouldn't want to use the paper or the printer ink.
Yeah.
Hmm. What are some of the craziest commissions you've ever had? Are there a couple that stick out in your mind as really weird requests from people that you've built for them?
Um, no, I did a portrait a couple of years ago, and of a kid, and I forget the kid's name. It's quite irrelevant anyway. But the lady, wanted it small. She was trying to do it on the cheap, which I get. I understand. I was there once too, and it was for her grandson. And Nick, sorry, Nick. It was really an awesome portrait. You're a very handsome little child there. But God, that sounded creepy. It sounded better before it came out. But yeah, she gave me all of these pictures. I said, always the more pictures, the better. Provide as many as you can, so that way I can really understand what he looks like. Because if you just show me one picture, and I need to do any sort of actual drawing on it, which often I do, I want to be able to understand it. It's just like in high school art when you have to look around it and understand what the whole thing is. And so she sent me all of these pictures. I had like 7 pictures of this kid, and not one of them was the kid smiling. I mean, why would you send me pictures of your deadpan grandson? Just, why would you do that? Why would you want a portrait like that? So, I mean, I don't know. For some reason, that just sticks out because, I mean, why? I had to get a whole bunch more pictures from her. They actually had to take some, too. And it was still a really forced smile.
Oh my gosh! So he just doesn't smile.
Yeah, I guess he's not really a happy kid. I have no idea, or maybe he just expresses joy differently. I don't know.
Not in a toothy way.
Yeah, maybe he just does it without nonverbal facial communication.
So is that in order to be a better commissioner of portraits, you should probably send your commissioned subject's photo, like of them maybe happy? Yeah.
I mean, I guess it really depends on what you're going for. I mean, if you're going for more of a sullen piece, then maybe crying or something. I don't know. Maybe hit the kid first and then bruise him up, make him cry, and his black eyes. I don't know. Yeah.
Nobody loves you. Now smile.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I always encourage people to smile. I mean, it's a portrait. It's going to be there, and it's Lego, and it's fun, and you should, my God, act accordingly.
Is there anything that's come in that you thought you never get any suggestion like this, or never request to build this type of thing, anything like that?
Well, there was the. Oh, you know what? And we were getting there, and anyway, I don't think we ever got there. But the giant purple Jesus, when we were discussing before the interview, the university, the Christian university that was here in the valley, they put an RFP out, and it went all over the world. So I wasn't the only one who got it, but yeah, they were commissioning a giant life-size Jesus adorned in purple robes for the student union, and I didn't bid on it because I guess I was practically thinking, I don't know where I'm going to get all of that purple, but my God, every part of me wants to build a giant purple Jesus.
Are we talking purple skin or?
No, just it's just the robes, and I don't know, but yeah, I just think it would be so cool to make Yeah, I'd probably use,
I guess that's better than a dark green Jesus, right? That would
Yeah,
be
yeah,
about the only thing more rare than purple. Maybe I'm
yeah,
probably wrong in saying this, but
yeah. I mean, or the Ian Heath model of, we only have, his flesh tones tan and white, which aren't flesh tones at all. So I'd probably lean towards more of the dark oranges and the browns. In which
yeah,
case, I don't think they'd like Black Jesus either.
no,
It'd be more soulful though.
yes, more soulful, much more soulful, and more accurate to what Jesus actually looks like.
Yeah, yeah.
We,
I don't know. I mean, I think it would be cool to, the purple robes and do the Buddy Jesus thing. And
Morgan Freeman is Jesus. That's what I'm trying to say.
no, he's God, not Jesus.
God, oh, you're right about this. Yes,
Well, yeah, no, he was both, I guess, technically. I don't
technically,
know how that works.
that's a
It's,
technicality. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Moving on from your very in-depth discussion there.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, giant purple Jesus was certainly weird, but I didn't take that commission. I didn't even bid on it.
Mhm. So that's some of your weirdest commissions and things there, but you also do personal pieces as well, such as your Robin Williams build you did recently. Was this shortly after he died that you built this mosaic
Yeah,
of him?
yeah. Excuse me. I am recovering. Actually, I don't know that I'm recovering or coming down with a cold. So yeah, like I said earlier, I'm still for our viewers. I'm on medicine, and
Uh,
it's making me weirder than usual, a little more loopy. Um, but yeah, it was pretty much right after, and I was up quite a bit, so I probably had this same sort of mindset, this headspace right now too. But it was a really a nice cathartic activity for me, because I mean it was Robin Williams. I grew up on Mork and Mindy, and he was just awesome, and he was always in my home, and he was just like the best, funniest person around. I mean, if anyone was human, it was Robin Williams. So yeah, and it really is. It's kind of behind me here. He was, it's one of my favorite pieces to date.
art is the best therapy. Do you concur with that statement?
Uh, Art is the second best therapy. Violence, I believe, is the first best therapy.
Yes, I would believe
But
history would back that up. Yes.
but art doesn't get you in. Well, art does get you in trouble. But yeah, but art is wonderful therapy.
Art is good. Yeah, I remember seeing your piece recently after the whole announcement. I was like, that's nice. Like, and usually the whole, I think it's cool to capitalize on current events, but you did it in a very, very tasteful way, and I salute that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I actually felt bad while doing it because I didn't want to, um, look like I was. I felt like that's what I was doing, but that's not what I was trying to do.
It kind of came off as that too. So yeah, you hit the nail on the head
Good,
with that one.
good. Yeah, because it's something that I'm not even sure if I want to sell. Everyone says that I should. They say, oh yeah, screw it, just sell it, make some money, and that's not really why I did it, and I don't like how that would feel. I actually thought about just taking it apart and just completing that catharsis.
Yes. And so actually, you brought up another point that I would like to touch on. So what is that intersection of building something for commission and building something for pleasure or for yourself? Like, what do you draw lines, or do you ever, build something and keep it for yourself despite getting offers for commissions? How does this all work?
Yeah, I don't know. I say that I build things that I think need to be in the world, and sometimes it's something stupid like a portrait of Spock or of William Shatner, because God knows we need more pictures of William Shatner on the world.
Oh yeah.
We really do. But I do enjoy. I build things just for me, and hope to God they sell sometimes, but they sadly never seem to, because apparently what I think is cool, many people don't. I have this pipe dream of making a mosaic of Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves from the movie Point Break, the skydiving scene when they were reaching out. It was like Michelangelo's David, and it's just such a beautiful image that I have in my head, and I want to put this over the couch because it's going to be like 8 feet, long, and yeah, I don't think my wife will ever allow that, but um, I think it's something that needs to exist in the world. I mean, who wouldn't want Keanu Reeves and Pat Swayze skydiving over the couch? They could look at that every day, and it would be wonderful.
I would frame that and hang that up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could sell G clays, I could sell prints, whatever. People would
You
just
need to find your tribe. That's what you're saying.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what I think might be cool, I think other people would not necessarily want that in their house, and I don't know that I necessarily want it forever in my house either.
Yeah, I mean it's Lego, right? So if you didn't glue it, you can always take it apart.
Exactly, exactly.
Go.
But yeah, I mean, I'd feel kind of bad about taking something that awesome apart, though. At some point, it would just feel unholy.
It's true. Well, Josh, do you think should we take the time to discuss some of your past builds? We already have, but I believe we have some Flickr photos waiting in the wings.
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
another one that another really awesome past build that I had seen in your feed was the Moonwalk mosaic that you did. Now, was this a commission or a personal one that you did for yourself?
Yeah, that was actually a commission. That one's the one that's facing Nathan Soya's piece. I did that in another Earthrise. I had actually originally done a Moonwalk, a 30-inch by 40-inch Moonwalk, and that was just for me. But that's on display now at the Challenger Space Center in Peoria, along with a couple of others. I did like a 15 by 30 Earthrise as well, and then he wanted something along those lines, so I took the same idea and really exaggerated, making him, bigger. I mean, the 60 by 40 is twice the size of the first one, and the small one was only 15. The Earthrise was only 15 by 30, so now that's significantly larger.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I love that. I mean, they hang in a private collection in Southern California, amongst other very cool things. Not just Nathan's stuff, but cooler stuff than just Lego.
And these are really massive, really cool looking mosaics. How do you transport these? Are they on separate base plates, or what's the best way have you found to move these around?
I put them. I mount them on mount base plates on MDF board, and I'm an adhesives man. I know some of us like to screw them down, but I prefer the adhesives. And then I just move them flat once they're on. I glue the sides. I no longer glue the entire thing, but I will fasten the sides down with glue, so that way they're not coming off. And I just move them flat. We put them in the back of the truck and drove out to LA.
Mm-hmm. So that you found that works well to just kind of transport them that way, and
I basically just treat them like a painting. I put picture wire on the back, and you can move them that way. I move them vertically, and then for going anywhere, I just stack them like I would a painting. Put a board, put some cardboard or a blanket between them, and stack them on top of each other.
Any unfortunate
What's that?
Any unfortunate disaster stories of them falling apart or anything during transport?
No, I haven't had any of that with mosaics. Actually, one of my Kachina dolls, during the grand opening of the Arrowhead Lego store, I brought it in to show it off to our everyone's favorite master builder, Dan Steininger, and he dropped it. He was just so impressed with the Kachina, and then he, I think in a fit of jealous rage, he smashed it on the floor, and he looked more terrified than I did. I built it. I knew how to put it back together. So, it's not that big of a deal. It's just Lego, so it breaks. You just put it back together. I haven't really had any mosaics fall apart, other than adhesive issues. But as far as that stuff coming apart, I actually had I did a model of R2-D2 a couple years back, and that one actually fell apart on me. I left it in the car a little too long, and apparently you can't do that to brick. 150, 200 degree vehicles over the course of several days.
Especially Arizona, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Apparently Lego is not meant for that. It still held. The clutch still held, but as soon as I picked it up, he just sort of crumbled, and the brick wouldn't really clutch onto anything else. So I learned an interesting lesson about ABS plastic.
That's weird.
Something you got to deal with there.
Yeah, and a while later I'd heard that Lego actually, and I don't know if this is true or not, but Lego actually bakes their models. So, and like I said, this is just something that I'd heard, but when something is, they build the model before they put it in production, or before they're ready, they present this model, and then they actually put it into a, like a 200 degree oven or whatever the temperature is, and they leave it in there for, whatever period of time they leave it in for, and then pull it back out to basically simulate years of wear and play.
Interesting.
So, like I said, that's just something that I've heard. I don't know, and I did it sort of quite accidentally in a car. Yeah. Dogs,
Not
baby.
not scientifically the way you
Yeah.
did it.
Right. Yeah. It's like I said, dogs, baby, and Lego. Those aren't things you'd be leaving in cars
No,
in the summertime.
especially the Lego.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned adhesives earlier, and I don't know if you'd be willing to share with us what your adhesive of choice is. We always like to impart a little bit of good knowledge on our viewers. So, what's the adhesive that you like to use?
Well, I am always mixing it up. I use a well, if you'll allow me, I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
So this is going to kind of inform you what adhesive would be good to use if you were going to say want to glue a mosaic together. Well, so he spent a lot of time researching this, and it's really important that we get this knowledge from him to kind of share it with the world. This is how things get better.
Yeah, actually, I used Dave Sterling quite a bit. He was on my speed dial every time I'd be at Home Depot. I'd call him up and say, Dave, I need to know what kind of glue's not gonna, what's gonna stick to ABS plastic, and he works with plastic for a living, so he give me these long drawn out answers of what to look for. But I was initially wearing this using. And you do end up wearing this stuff too, this Loctite spray adhesive.
Ah.
Okay.
And it's great for the base plates, but I have had problems, and they're intermittent problems. I don't know why, but some of my mosaics, the base plates would peel back out, and some of them wouldn't. So I have really old mosaics that have been solid. I have newer mosaics that have peeled back. So, and it's just like a can of spray paint. I won't spray the camera. It's tempting, but no. And the drawback is you have to do this outside, and it can't be windy, and you should wear long sleeves or shave your arms. You should have no hair exposed because it gets on you. This stuff aerates and it goes everywhere, and you get to breathe it in, and it sticks on you, and you can't really shower it off. So it's something that I'm trying to move away from. And then I'm going into another Loctite product. I'm using this stuff here, which you just squeeze out in the gun, and then I just trowel that on with a knife, and it's working pretty good so far.
Interesting.
Yeah, but so I put it on, and then I usually put another piece of MDF board on top of all of the base plates, and then a whole bunch of dumbbells or just things that weigh a lot, just to make sure everything's set down
Definitely.
and stuck together.
And do you ever screw the base plates into the MDF? I think you might have mentioned that earlier.
I've tried that. I know that Dave Ware does, and he swears by it. I've found that when I've done that, I have a lot of wobble and flex in the base plates because you're not going to make them tight. And there's you have to really measure the gap in between the base plates because you can't just butt them up against each other, and they have to be right on. Those studs have to line up. So I take bricks as I'm putting the base plates on to get them squared away with one another. Otherwise, you're going to have these weird seams, or bricks are going to just be too close and they're going to impact, and it's not going to be a good idea. You're going to have either the like I said, the seams or the impacted bricks.
Definitely. Yeah, I would imagine countersinking the screw would be important, but
yeah, I think it would. And when I put them in. You put the screw in, and then all this material comes back up out of the board underneath the plate. So I didn't. I guess I didn't encounter immediate success when I tried it, so I just stopped doing it.
Yeah.
As opposed to trying new ways and innovating, I just said no, this doesn't work, and moved on.
Definitely.
Whereas other people do it all constantly. So.
But these are really problems that like the typical. This is just not like vanilla stuff. So only if you actually were going to sit and make a mosaic for a commission, would you ever deal with this, really? So
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, just whenever you want to make something that's permanent. I mean, I know
right.
there's the purists out there, and I used to be one. And then I realized one day that it's just not worth playing by the rules. You got to glue through. You got to screw through sometimes. I even used Ian Heath's dyeing techniques on a project, and that is what I learned was just witchcraft, and it's very dangerous, and that'll leave you feeling funny. I definitely killed some brain cells doing that.
Oh my
Um,
God. Yeah, I mean, you're really kind of messing with like the rotation of the Earth at that point, like redying plastic, like.
well, yeah, and the technique is, I mean, you have to have a, um, excuse me, just one second. I'm gonna,
Okay. Quick
So
break here.
yeah, I mean, it's just crazy, you know? What are you gonna redye
Mhm.
plastic, you know? How crazy is that?
okay, sorry about that. Um, there is a family here too, um, who I thought I made aware this was like, the cone of silence, but that didn't happen.
Mom.
Um,
We work through those things.
yeah. Um, but at any rate, and it's my own family too. It's not someone else's. Thank God. But uh, he said and I asked Ian a lot of questions about this. It was basically like a 3-to-1. You have 3 parts water per 1 part acetone in this thing. At least that's what I think I remember. And that you use hot water, and it wasn't getting my desired effect through these tiles. It just wasn't dyeing it enough. So I kept increasing the temperature of the water until it became boiling water, which he said was insane, and it really is insane. But the thing is acetone evaporates at a much faster rate than water does, so you're always having to re-add acetone, and you don't know how much acetone is left in the solution, and it just becomes this mess. And um, you wake up later, you're on the kitchen floor, and the acetone's all boiled out, and it's a terrible situation. But I got actually very desirable results. I was actually fortunately I was looking for inconsistent
Well,
dyes.
that's why you got really good results.
Yeah, because I wasn't looking for consistency.
Exactly.
So
But
and
see,
actually once I figured out how to create consistency, I then tried to experiment a little bit, and it worked. It worked nicely.
but you are in the Southwest, and Breaking Bad is, I
Yeah.
believe, well, it took place in your neighboring
Oh, well,
state, so,
that
you
that
know.
that felt very Breaking Bad.
Well, there you
I should
go.
have been,
Yeah.
had an apron and some sort of a ventilator. Ventilator would have been great because I know that I am not the same. I do not have the same capacity any longer that I before I started this project.
So I think if you moved all that Lego behind you and just set up shop in a trailer, a little double wide,
Yeah,
that's all you need. Maybe a
yeah,
van,
yeah.
maybe not a
If,
van. Shave that
yeah,
head
if
of
I had
yours.
been,
Yeah,
oh yeah, I mean, been done before. It'll be done again probably at some point. But
there you go.
yeah, I'll just be standing outside in the van in my underwear and
Breaking
watching the fire
brick.
trucks roll by. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually just saw today that Orion Pax, I think it was Orion Pax, is selling the model that he did, or selling it, but he's having a raffle. I'm not sure if they go to anything or if it's just a raffle, where he's selling that the Winnebago, or I'm sorry, the Bounder.
hmm
Uh, so yeah, I know that's happening right now. It's like a five euros per ticket.
Mhm. Yeah, I
So
remember that model he built. That was a really cool model that he did of that really detailed model.
yeah, that was awesome, and that one really kind of just always stood out. It's just a remarkable piece.
He
Um,
does really good work. He really
yeah,
does.
he does. He was one of those guys that I remember when I was starting. He was just doing all of this amazing stuff,
Definitely.
and I looked at it quite a bit.
Now, another model that I wanted to make sure we talked about here was one that you had said was kind of one of your favorite models that you've done, and this was your Arizona Cardinals helmet. So, what prompts you to like this one so much?
I can wear it, and that's really it. It hurts But I borrowed it back a couple of weeks ago for a TV spot. Uh, Gosh, I guess it was like a month and a half ago now. That's a couple of weeks. But yeah, you can actually put the thing on your head, and it really hurts because of all those sharp edges, and it's not padded. And I seriously doubt that I'd want to ever take a hit while wearing it. But it's cool, you know. It's Lego that I can wear, and or that anyone with. I mean, if I can put it on this big old grape of mine, then I think anyone on the planet could wear it. Hey, there's a picture of it. Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so here's a photo, and you can see from the edges there how uncomfortable that might be to
yeah,
wear.
It would probably
yeah.
hurt you more if you got hit in it than it would if you just weren't wearing it at all.
Oh,
Because then instead of
absolutely.
having a soft indentation on your head, you would have an indentation with all this brick, you know? Not
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it'd be a bloody mess. But the face mask is actually my favorite part of that because it's just this wonderful eggshell, and I used a different type of building technique instead of just keeping with that studs up approach, kind of that Legoland build. I turned the studs around and did. I guess that's not work because they're not on top. Um, but yeah, I've just been really happy with that, and I got to incorporate a studs up mosaic in it as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, it is a really neat little model. So you had all the different cool techniques there. You even got the little cardinal on the side. There was that cardinal hard to do.
Yeah, it was like I said that was the studs up mosaic, which I mean those are easy to do. You just build the mosaic studs up. And the hard part was actually getting him in line and building it on the circle or on the sphere. So what I did is basically I built a mosaic. I built a model of the cardinal as reference, and as I was going through, I worked from top to bottom on that project. So when I was going through, I would find that layer, I would put it in place, and then I just moved it layer by layer um, down that thing. And it was a pain, but it was fun working it onto that spherical form.
And again with the local stuff, because once again, you're the one guy in Phoenix that's doing this kind of stuff, because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
tie in with the Cardinals, and you mentioned TV news. What was that?
Well, I doing an event, an exhibit. It's at the Herd Museum. It ends this week. It's been going on since late May, which was an adventure in itself, building an museum exhibit. Um, but yeah, we put this thing together. I did a whole bunch of mosaics and stuff for them, and they have a work of other artists. I mean, the Herd is a Native American museum, and I am certainly not Native American.
I'm 132nd. I'm
As you can
132nd, Dave. 132nd. 132nd.
Congratulations.
I'm happy for me.
But so yeah, I played a larger role of consulting, but I did a lot of the work too, and put a lot of stuff together, and it's really fun. It's a delight because I mean I have my stuff is again it's on display next to Nathan's work, and Sean Kenny has some work in there, and I apologize, I don't remember offhand the artist's name, the builder's name that did the big Action Comics, the Superman mosaic, that big yellow thing, just beautiful piece out of Colorado, out of the cow lug. But that's on display there as well. They had that shipped down. So so yeah, it's I have that going on right now, and then the display out at the um, Challenger Space Center too, which is it's fun, and I really love that display. It's not so much the display itself, but it's the Challenger Space Center, and it's cool.
I mean, totally. You're taking Lego out of its usual context, which is always cool.
Yeah, yeah, and it's everyone likes Lego. I mean, everyone has a story about it. Whether they were stepped on in the middle of the night, whether they were given Lego, or they know that their son or their grandson loves Lego and should work for Lego someday because he or she can build the most amazing things.
Of
And
course.
yeah, and do I enter them in competitions and stuff like that? But it's fun because everyone can relate to it, and uh, it's people see it and they want to touch it, and they want to interact, and and it's fun and it's bright and colorful and people want to. It makes people happy.
It's a happy thing. It is very much a happy thing.
Yeah.
Now, can you elaborate a little bit? You mentioned there that you've worked with a couple museums. How did you first start working with them? Is this something where they approached you to put together something for the museum?
Yeah, well, the with Challenger, I approached them. I built something. I built the first Buzz Aldrin the Moonwalk portrait, and then I sent them an email and said, "Hey, check this out." And then they promptly called me back and said, "Hey, we'd love to have that on display here." So yeah, I just started building a bigger and bigger display, and that's really that one's led to some really interesting things. I've made some really neat friends there. So I've just really enjoyed that. I get to meet astronauts and TV personalities and famous astronomers and stuff. So I really, love that aspect of it. It's very novel and just good people in general over there. As then like the Herd Museum, the Lego store actually put me in contact with them. They contacted Lego, and then the Lego store said, "Talk to Dave," and they did.
That's cool. All about the local connections.
Yeah.
Awesome. That is really cool, actually. That's very nice.
Yeah, it's nice that they reach out to builders like that, and you can get Lego in places where it wouldn't normally be, like museums and places like that.
Yeah. I think it's been a lot of fun. People go into the Herd Museum, which is entirely Native American stuff. It's rugs and Kachina dolls and various artifacts and different things. And people say, well, what does Lego have to do with it? And that's kind of the point is, these are people that live on a reservation or not. They're still from planet Earth. They still watch the same TV shows and understand the pop culture references and played with the same toys when they were little that you and I did. And it's just kind of their way of saying, hey, yeah, we're here too, and this is how we can integrate our art and our culture with society. And it's a cool thing.
Totally.
Yeah, that's really awesome. So you've got your museum stuff going on then. Any other shows or conventions you'll be able to make it to this year?
This year I don't have anything else planned. I know my lug is doing something. I might be doing something in October. Might be doing another event at the Challenger Space Center. I have no idea what I'm going to do, and that's I think less than 30 days away is when this event will happen. So that's when I should get on. I've been kind of procrastinating about we're hosting the Super Bowl here next year too, and I need to get on that. But somehow I'm planning for Comic-Con next year, Phoenix Comic-Con, trying to find a way to slack and do that. I've been gone. This will be my 6th year. I go every year. With my lug, I've gone for 4 years. I got us in that door, and 2 years ago I stopped going in with her. This last year was the first year I didn't do anything with my lug, and it's been just the most amount of fun for me because I don't have to stand at a display. I don't have to do anything. I can wander around. I can go do my panel and then act like a derelict like everyone else. And it was just, I got to actually meet friends and hang out with friends. And it's fun when you bring stuff in, and like William Shatner, I got to meet him. He autographed the portrait I did, and he messed with me. I think he might have been drinking the sauce, hitting that a little early in the morning. I'd like to think it was a drunken William Shatner.
A drunken William Shatner, a drunken anybody's better than a normal anybody, right? That's what the Bible says.
Yeah. Even that year, Brent Spiner walked by. I had the big Star Trek thing going on. And he walked by, he stopped, came back, and he looked at me and says, "Did you do this?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." And he says, "Let me ask you something. Why not me? What's so awesome about these guys? They have to make mosaics. They have to make a mosaic. Why can't you make one of me?" And so we were talking for a while about commissioning a piece, but it never fleshed out, which I was disappointed.
Did you bring up Priceline? Obviously, you made a William Shatner mosaic because of Priceline, right?
No, I made him as Kirk.
Oh,
as a young Kirk.
Okay.
But yeah, the Priceline negotiator would have been cool, but or maybe like T.J. Hooker, or just kind of the awesomeness, or actually quite possibly his two of his best movies were Kingdom of the Spider, which was this terrible 60s or 70s sci-fi. It's up there with like Night of Olympus. And then the other one was Pray for the Wildcats, and he was actually the good guy, opposite of William Shatner. Was Andy Griffith, who was the bad guy. He was an evil Andy Griffith, and it was, he was part of a biker gang who went to Mexico, and it was awesome.
We're not in Mountain Area anymore.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm. So some cool shows and conventions you might be able to find you out there. So at least the Phoenix Comic Con, then you'll have some stuff there.
Yeah. I might be doing a one night thing in Tempe in like January or February called Nerds Night Out. I'm a bit of a nerd myself, and I like the sci-tech stuff. I like all of the STEM education, and anything where space flight or aeronautics is concerned.
So now, where do the April conventions factor in? What are you
I haven't done any of those yet. Pardon me, just one more second. The family keeps knocking at the door, and there's a 10-year-old who doesn't understand. So I gotta, speaking of violence.
Dad. No, but it's true. It's important to take Lego out of the usual context. So it's really nice to see that Dave has kind of been able to push the boundaries, so to speak. See, as you can see now, he's taking the baseball bat to go do some.
Not exactly sure what's going on there.
He's just all about taking Lego outside of his usual boundaries. So, some people just beat their children with a baseball bat, but he beats his children with a Lego baseball bat. Right, Dave?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I mean, and this is actually one that's been glued, and there's actually a pipe that runs through it. It's steel reinforced.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it has to be, or else you wouldn't be able to do that with it, would you?
No.
Very true. I still see some stress points on it, so I might need to work on it a little bit. It's not entirely glued.
Maybe you should fill that pipe with lead pellets or something. Make it even a little bit more weighty.
Not a bad idea. Liquid hot magma.
There you go.
But yeah, back to the AFL convention. I haven't been to one. I'd like to see one in Phoenix. Scuttlebutt is we have some people in town that are going to try to start making that happen. I think there's a relationship with Philly Brickfest there, and I'd sure love to get on board with that. But I don't know. I haven't been to one, and I don't know that I would really travel to one unless I was going there otherwise.
Yes, well, Lego conventions are the new frozen yogurt franchise, so everybody has to have one.
Yeah, it's like Froyo or what are the yoga cupcakes and yoga studios too.
Yes.
Those things are everywhere, and although I'm a big fan of the yoga studio.
I mean, I like the frozen yogurt.
Yeah.
As long as you can Instagram it, right? That's all that matters.
I know. I mean, I'm so glad that we have internet now and Facebook, so we know what our friends are eating.
Yes. Where they're
please
going
stop.
to the bathroom.
To all of my Facebook friends, it's awesome that you're eating wonderful food, but what's the point, really? I mean,
we don't need to know. To be honest, just you don't have to tell us everything.
Just do it for the kids.
Yeah. I don't need to see a picture of your lunch. I'm sure it's delicious. I've often thought about doing that too, but I mean, I've built Lego food and taken pictures of it, but it's not the same.
It's different. It's artistic. It's actually artistic.
Yeah.
Now,
but
on the topic of taking pictures with your phone, you actually use your phone to take pretty much all of your photos. Is that right? Over the last few years, you've used your phone to take pretty much all the photos that you post online?
Yeah, sadly. I mean, for a long time I was using this Kodak, like a 7-megapixel Kodak point and shoot. And then recently I realized that, a couple of years back I realized that this little phone, not an Apple phone, takes good pictures, and I've been using this pretty much exclusively for product photography. So yeah, I just recently was given a DSLR, so now I have that, and yeah, it's awesome. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, DSLR, there's a lot of stuff you can do with that, right? It's like, just pressing the shutter button is one thing, but then, there's all the lenses and all the little settings, and you can really get fancy.
Yeah, and it has a movie mode, so I'll be able to hopefully soon get some really good high definition cat videos for the world.
There you go.
Um,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
end goal. You know, with the better quality camera, the better quality cat videos.
If you're
Oh
gonna go
yeah,
viral, you might as well
yeah.
go
I mean,
viral in
yeah. I
style.
mean, if you're gonna make a cat video, go HD. Otherwise, it's
Yeah.
just not worth it. But yeah, there is a lot. I'm going out of town this weekend, back up home for my 20-year class reunion. And man, I never thought I'd make it past 26.
But no, it's
But
the 27
26
club.
years now. Yeah. But I'm hoping to try out some astrophotography and get some good open sky pictures.
Awesome.
Hmm. So some cool stuff to look forward to there. Now, I think to wrap it up for us tonight, if you could price and piece limitation not factoring in, if there was one mosaic that you could build, do you have a mosaic that you would really like to do someday down the road? If you could have as many pieces and as much money as you wanted to do the project?
Um, well, probably yeah. I mean, on my wish list right now is of course the 8 foot Keanu Reeves one.
Okay.
And you know, I think that's just tragically cool. And one that I've actually had on my drawing board for a while, and it's all ready to go. It's a 40 by 60. It's a Batman and Robin, and I would love to do that, but it's cost prohibitive. I don't have the brick or all of the right bricks to do it, and I would have to invest a lot more in it right now. So I just don't see it happening unless I did like a Kickstarter project or something, and I don't see why people would want to give me money so I could build this thing.
So, pipe dream down the road somewhere
Well,
maybe.
Dave, if
Yeah.
the ice wasn't it an ice cream sundae? The kid wanted to make an ice cream sundae, and he got like 100 grand to do it or something. So if
Oh
that
my
can
God.
if that can fly on Kickstarter, anything can fly on
Yeah.
Kickstarter.
Yeah. I mean, come on. If Brandon can get the studs cards going, really? Yeah. No.
I mean,
Uh,
if we could get some money to make a DVD, you could get some money to do
yeah.
anything.
Yeah. No. The studs cards are actually pretty cool. I have my own studs card, and it was actually kind of funny. I'm sorry, but I'll be honest here. When I first saw them, I thought, oh my God, that is trading cards. Really, it's kind of I don't know. And then I got an email from Brandon saying, "Hey, will you be a stud?" And I thought, "Oh my God, I love this idea. I totally, totally."
Including me, guys. They're including me.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, yes, I'm a cool kid. I'm a cool kid. I'm popular, and so yeah, I felt good about that. But yeah, I have a big stack of them. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. I've given some out. Actually, even that was a surreal process because you get these cards and you have to autograph a whole bunch of them and send them back. And I was thinking, God, who am I? Who. So to be autographing things, so I started drawing like eye patches on me, and one of them I put long hair and pearls and eyelashes and wrote all sorts of things. My personal favorite, and I say this to the world is let me know who gets this card. Was one that I think I'd drawn something on it, and I wrote the words "Burn in Hell, Goldman." Referencing the great Keith Goldman,
The
of course.
infamous Goldman. The infamous
Yes, Burn in Hell, Goldman, and signed it. So I'm hoping I just want somebody to post a picture and say, "What the hell is this?"
Why did I? This is so offensive.
Yeah, I did like a Shadex one where I rounded my head, the little studs there on so I liked Shadex. So yeah, I didn't, I had a lot of fun with it. I didn't take it seriously at all, but I'm sitting in a room filled with Lego bricks. There's not really a lot to take seriously.
It's true. It's very true. But yeah, Kickstarter is all about making awesome stuff happen. So you got to
Yeah,
take the plunge. Take the plunge, Dave.
yeah, maybe. That
Mhm.
is awesome. It would be awesome, but I don't know what I'd ever do with it, and I don't know how to reward people that wanted to just blindly give me money so I could create something, more Batman and Robin. That's what the world needs is more Batman.
More cowbell. More cowbell.
Yeah, yeah, but it's awesome Robin and like old school Robin. So you get those nice, those legs, and it's very homoerotic, and yeah, it's what we need is a 40-inch by 60-inch, big 5 foot tall, Robin, 17-year-old, just, but It's what we totally need.
But something to hopefully look forward to in the future. Then someday
Yeah.
that might happen.
Yeah, again, medicine, I'm going somewhere really weird right now. So, but yeah, it's something that I would hope would someday enter the world.
hmm Well, now, do you want to remind people about your website and the best places to keep up to date with what you're going on then?
Well, my website is either daveshaddix.com, which then forwards to southwestbricks.com, or there's the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/southwestbricks. But both of which, I'm terrible at. I'm really bad at maintaining my web page and the any sort of events there. They're like years and years old. Facebook, I update a little more regularly. Maybe once a week, twice a week, or more. It depends on how mindful I am of it.
Okay, so I'll make sure to include links to all of the builds we talked about here, and then also those links you just mentioned, so people can check that stuff out and keep
Cool.
up to date with everything you're doing.
All right, man. Well, thanks a lot.
Yeah, it was great having you on the show.
Hope the world beats a path to your door.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's intimidating because usually in the past, when the world's beaten past to my door, it's not ended well.
This time it's going to end really, really well. We back it. We back it. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
So
yeah, next time we do an interview, maybe I'll we could do it from my yacht or my plane.
Exactly. That's what we're getting.
We're gonna do that.
From your New York wing and your maybe your Los Angeles studio, Yeah. There you
go. Green screen. Hey, Ian, can I borrow your green screen?
There you go. Yeah. Ian, share that green screen.
You could look like you're on a yacht and just be doing it from your house.
Yeah. Well, like we said, we were gonna do this whole. I have to keep moving because the government is after me, and I think it'd be fun. I think it's a great effect, and. Maybe we could give someone like a seizure or something. I don't know.
Kind of teasing the creations up top there. Yeah, always good.
Yeah. See, there's that's a redo of the radio, the Gilligan's Island radio, and that's a rubber ducky right there. Right there.
And then you got Batman. You got Batman.
Yeah. There's Batman there, and
a lamp.
There's an angry bird, and there's the big green ham. Batman's actually staring down the green ham, and then the globe and my lamp and Boo's door. And I think there's even a Kachina. That red thing's a Kachina doll. Yep.
All sorts of cool stuff up there.
Yeah. And then there's a big stack of base plates and a Lego airplane. That's actually one of the few sets that I built. I had it in me that I wanted to build a town, so I bought the airplane, and now I have an airplane and no town. So.
All you need is an airplane. Very cool, Dave.
Really, yeah. Every town needs a big airplane, so I bought one, and I don't know. It was fun to build, and it's certainly a big thing. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with it now.
Crazy.
It's the minifigure.
So now you've just got a large plane, no town, but that's okay.
Yeah. I don't know what. Like I said, I have no idea if I could do something cool with it. Maybe glue it together. Actually. Ooh, what if I then glued it together partially? I just need to really stabilize the wings because they take a good amount of torque from the rapid acceleration for the model rocket launchers that I would then attach, or the model rocket engines. I think probably some good C's could fit in there, 4 of them like that, or even just.
You need more cold medicine, Dave. You need more cold medicine.
I do too. No, I did something like this last year and took videos of it. And although I didn't post many like on YouTube or anything, there was some awesomeness that went on with getting these things. I think we used like an E or a D engine, this really big thing. It was like this big, and it was beautiful. Lego went very high in the air and. Came back down and brick broke. It was just a tragic misuse of Lego and such an irresponsible use of a rocket model motor, of a model rocket engine. But God, it was glorious. It
was culminated in something incredible that just everyone should have been there to see.
Yeah. It kind of started with using the small engines, and then they would spin out. So of course we had to say, well, what if we went bigger? And then we went exponentially bigger every time. until it approached dangerous, and then we backed it. We decided that was good. There was an impact crater too, which was, I think, by far the coolest part. Is it was a good size impact crater. It was fun. I certainly want more of that in my future. Don't blow up the brick. Don't set it on fire. It might burn. I don't know what temperature it would burn, but don't um, unless you're in a controlled environment and have an actual rocket scientist with you.
You really are the Breaking Bad of Lego. You need a double wide in a field somewhere. You can just go crazy.
I just like to, like I said, I just like to. She's a dirty girl. The brick is a dirty girl,
Mm-hmm.
and have your way. Have fun with it. By God, it's if it breaks, you just rebuild it. If not,
if it melts, you just recycle it.
Yeah, and so what? Take the purist out and just go forth and build and modify and break and detonate. Just whatever you can. Make sure that the Lego does something really cool.
That should be put on walls everywhere.
Yes, that's just a great policy for library.
That's an anthem. That's like a mission to action or call to action.
Yeah, it's just when you're dealing with ABS shrapnel, you need to be at a safe distance.
Mm-hmm. You betcha.
So with that, I think that wraps it up for us then, Dave. It was great having you on the show. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been fun, taking an unknown substance medicine, and then it promised it is over the counter, and I'm tired and loopy, and I'm probably going to need to not be awake anymore tonight. So, but thanks for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
No problem. And wanted to remind you guys about something real quick. The National Podcast Day is September 30th, so if you listen to a lot of podcasts, then this might be something you're interested in. You can find more information at nationalpodcastday.com and find out what all the celebrations are going on for podcasts around the world for National Podcast Day.
Whoa!
Yes, some cool stuff going on there, so encourage you to check that out. But it was great having you on the show, Dave.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you joining us.
I apologize for this train wreck of a podcast. I'm so sorry to everyone, to your viewers, to you guys. It's sorry.
No, you're just a very endearing person. Thank you.
It was wonderful. And one quick reminder, if you do enjoy watching the show, I'd encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube channel here to keep up to date with all of our latest episodes and all the videos we're releasing so that you don't miss any of the future episodes that we release. And thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back next week with another great episode for you.